Welcome to the Big Fat Real Estate Checks podcast with Marco Kozlowski, where we help investors like you get the knowledge and skills you need to replace your JOB with passive cash flow for life.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Big Fat Real Estate Checks, episode 100. Oh, yes, da, oui. And however many times I can say yes in multiple languages. We are all three together for the first time in almost 2 years. And we have no masks on, and we are all in the same room. We've actually been here for almost 3 days trying to figure out the best positioning so you can see the beautiful Parliament buildings behind us. I'm not sure if you're able to see that. We're in Ottawa, the capital of Canada, where we're all from. Most people think Toronto actually is the capital of Canada or Canada. But it's Ottawa.
I think maybe at one time it was actually.
Toronto? I don't know. We'll have to Google. All right. We'll have to look at the oracle of the Google and figure this out.
But Toronto is the capital of Ontario.
Yeah. Toronto is the capital of Ontario.
Although they do call it the capital of Canada. But
Canada and Ontario are two different things.
It is.
Although...
Are you guys looking for a check here? Huh? Toronto is the capital of Ontario, and Ottawa is the capital of Canada.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just throwing it out there that I think Toronto was the capital of...
So we're going to confuse more U.S. listeners.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. They don't.
I don't think anyone from the U.S. actually does listen.
No.
I don't think they want to listen. Although we do have over 600 reviews right now, which is fabulous. 5 stars, which is amazing.
Thank you.
This is episode 100, our centennial, our 100th. We wanted to be all together to do this, and I think this podcast is going to be on all the shit that's happened in order to put this podcast together. Because I kid you not, no shit, we have been together for almost 3 days now, and this is the first time we actually sit down and actually get this done, I think, complete.
Well, we wanted to make it special for all the listeners, and I think we were concentrating more on that. Then we had some technical issues. Well, no, we had a lot of technical issues. Then we were worried about the scenery behind us, and then once we got our shit together yesterday, which we were close.
It was dark.
The sun was it wasn't dark. The sun was right behind us, so we were blinded. So you couldn't see us, but you saw the sunset, I guess.
Which was really nice. Had all sorts of pretty colors.
It was
really pretty.
But we still didn't pick a topic. I think we were throwing around 3 or 4 ideas.
Yes.
Maybe we just do a hybrid of shit.
Because we wanted to do, a lot of different things. We wanted to do it. One was a story of a journey and how we all got to this place at this point. The other was 100 words of success. That we would pick a different word and figure out what that meant to us and how we could become successful around that word, because I think it would be very important. And then we also had
a perspective on, we were going to give a scenario. So we were going to give a scenario on a property acquisition, and then just get everyone's perspective on what would they do to take it down, their exit strategy, their optimization, just to see the different
ways we would approach it, right?
Well, yeah, and there's not a wrong to it. It's just there's different ways to do.
3 ways to skin the same cat. Right. And we could take a scenario and completely.
And then, of course, Frank had resources.
And resources.
And we have resources, yeah. Like the different things the different resources that you could tap into in order to be successful. And
tools you can use on your journey.
There's a lot of tools that we do use, and maybe a top 5, top 10. Not that we went through the list because there's so many of them, but
there's a lot. And then there's also a possible collage of different experiences that we've had over the last. It's been a year now. This has been a year in the making. This podcast. I think we broadcasted 1st September of last year, and so we're pretty much, or maybe October. I'm not sure.
Yeah, in that neighborhood.
It's been about a year, so it's been a really interesting journey. And hopefully, as you as a listener as well, you've enjoyed our series in podcasting. Which obviously we want to bring the best content possible. We don't want to be repetitive. We don't want to have to necessarily bring ads either. I know there are a lot of podcasts that start with great content and it peters off, and we're struggling actually with creating 2 episodes a week, which is really what the goal was, and having fresh content 100% easy. So we're definitely going to start bringing guests in as of the 100th episode and doing things a little bit different, and the guests are going to be obviously related to what we're doing, and making sure that you as a listener get the value possible from these episodes. So with that, I guess those disclosures and us still having a huge question mark as to which direction we're going to go because we really didn't decide on it.
And the
Rock,
best
paper,
of,
scissors
actually.
did-
The best of. We're going to do the best of. We're
the
gonna
best
do-
of, yeah, where we could take the best of and chop that up and put.
But then we would have to go through 100 episodes.
Yeah, so
we had
there's-
a lot of best of.
I think everything's the best.
It was.
There's
Well, we're definitely having a good time.
anything to do with what you guys say is really anything I say is it's questionable.
Well, at least what's on camera.
At least we look good. I think we do. I can't see
I
myself,
don't know
but
about that. That's the weirdest thing you've ever said.
well, I'm
At
saying
least we
look good in terms of
Wearing
the
a shirt. I
scenery.
don't know if I've ever seen you wear a
Well,
shirt on a
Marco-
podcast.
Well, hold on a sec. We were in Quebec actually on day one.
Yes.
In Gatineau, and the internet connection wasn't
Present.
fantastic.
It ran. It was cranking. You had to crank it up, and it used Vaseline and castor oil as a combination to warm it up.
Yeah, when Marco says get the gasoline container to prime it. Anyways, and then we came to Ottawa, and you rented. Shit, this is one of probably the biggest room that I've seen. It's not a room. This is like
It's a
big
floor.
suite. We got a whole floor.
Pretty close.
We got many exits, and
Just
some
like
close
we
to
like
the
to do in
elevator,
real
some very
estate.
far to the
Yeah, yeah.
four
elevator.
different doors in this. There are 4 exits
Strategies.
in this room. 4 exits in this room. Yeah, you have a huge conference area. You've got a sofa area. You've got a waiting area. You actually have a pre-waiting area
That's
in the
right.
bedrooms.
Well, let's not forget about the rooftop.
Yes.
We have a
We have a
rooftop,
rooftop patio,
yeah,
which
and we
is,
also have like this big cooler.
So maybe for episode 200, we have everybody come here and we have a live podcast.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot
Rules
of fun.
permitting, that would
We'll do
be
it at my
really
place.
good.
We'll do it at my place. We'll
Yeah.
have everyone that wants to come in, and we'll have a party.
Yeah.
So
Q&As.
Q&A.
It'll
We're
be
gonna figure out how
fun.
they're
Yeah.
gonna get selected to come in.
So that's good. We found topic for episode 200.
Great.
So
Well, can we
just
get
have to
there
find
first?
100
Because I think
more.
as a listener, if I'm listening to us talk right now, they're like, "Okay, guys, what are you going to What are you going to teach us today?
Well, let's
What are we going to teach today? What are we going to talk about? What words of wisdom?
talk about. I like how we got here. Like how we got here, right, Randy?
How we got here? We
Well, other than not the transportation logistics of getting to Ottawa, but
journey.
the journey. But I know we had an episode where we talked about our journey, how we get onto real estate, whatever.
Yeah, but the journey that we spoke about was the struggle. I think that we really cover the journey of why we're working together and what our goals are and our objectives are as a group.
Sure.
Because
we'll
I
go
think
with
that we've all come from different backgrounds, and some of us struggled more than others, but that we got to real estate for the same reason, which was to create passive income and not have to work in order to be able to enjoy life. And I think we're at a point where we've, for the most part, achieved that. But this is not where we want to end this, right? We have the journey is just beginning, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys.
Well,
but
the journey is a destination.
It is, but everything that we're doing in terms of our curriculum, the fund that we're creating. Then yesterday, during dinner, we talked about other avenues to get to a much bigger goal.
yeah,
Going to be in front of our
And we bounced a lot of things around last night. But for when we joined, well, I think we joined Marco at the same time, actually.
yeah, you were like a year
You were
earlier.
first by 2 months,
Yeah.
I think.
And coming from a background with the government, the last few years I was doing training material, and I know would it be cool to have, because Marco, you have a lot of ideas in your head, and I know after an event, your whiteboard is like it's been barfed on, because you're thinking things faster than you can actually write them. And I love that about you. And you're very, you think of shit on the spot. And you're like, oh my goodness, this is going to be cool. So to put all your thoughts together in the back office on the curriculum in the members area, I think it was our biggest
Challenge,
it
hurdle.
was our biggest challenge, but I think it was the biggest benefit to the students because
Hang on, for those that don't know what a curriculum is, because if I'm listening, what the hell are you guys talking about? So anyone that either follows, even on this podcast, they're free. There's a free area and a paid area. There's both. There's a free area where we give resources, and there's a paid area where we give a lot of resources. And depending on the amount of work that you want and the level of service that you're looking for and the amount of ass kicking there'll be different, same members area, just access to different things. And all three of us put a lot of effort into it, from you guys organizing it to me putting videos together, and you even putting videos together as well, guys. You've put a lot into this. But I could have definitely not done this without you two. And I guess we made a decision at one point to make things better because I didn't have a curriculum a few years ago. And Marco,
That's right.
You got to get organized.
From the point that when we started, we had you in your mind at that point.
All we did was Skype classes.
That's right. Yeah.
It was Marco. It was you. It was.
But I think the common thread here is that
it was fresh. But sometimes someone, even when my wife is like, "Shit, he gave us a lot of info," and if you're not taking good notes, you may miss some of those.
You're gonna miss a lot.
You're gonna miss some of the points, and to have that back office when we decided to, you know what. But not only that, even with inquiries, when people have questions for us, right? How do we serve them better? So we implemented a ticket system where, you submit a question and we answer it, and you can see which one's pending, which one is solved, which one, if you want to do a follow-up. So I've seen you grow over the last, 6-7 years, like 100 times fold, and even as a person though.
Well, the process went from, back then, students chasing Marco's knowledge to Marco's knowledge now being kind of just sent out there into the universe of all the members, and it's been great. But I think the common thread here of why we're all here together was, to a certain extent, whether you did this at your old job where you were putting training materials together and all that, and I come from an educational background as well, and you love teaching. I think this wanting to help people through education is something that is I believe the glue that kind of put this together and started this process.
We all have a desire to help others, and I've taught a lot of people. A lot of people that have bought a lot of assets. We're not going to name names. We know a lot of people that have bought things that I would never want to have other students learn from, because of A, their personality, B, their intent is not to really help others from a selfless point of view, because we're selfless in a lot of ways. It's not like, how much juice can I extract from this person before I get some? Like, it's all about me, 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 me. None of us talk or think in this way. Right? It's how much can we give, and then we'll figure out how we take care of each other later. But it's how much can we give first. That's the first conversation we have. And if someone's being we've had some students that you've said, Marco, I can't. If this person contacts me again, I just can't do it.
Forgive me for saying that, but yeah, it is.
But you know what I'm talking about. And there's been a few of those.
I think it was they felt a sense of entitlement, and I was giving my time, and I didn't like the way I was being talked to, and I was trying to help them sincerely, but they didn't want the help. I guess they had, maybe they envisioned it's something different, but we don't have too many of those. There's a few. There's just a few.
Well, it's not a do-it-for-me membership. It's a,
that's the thing.
It's just a I want to learn membership and provide you with the processes, the tools, the roadmaps, so that I can follow this and not kind of veer off track and hurt myself. And that's the difference. And many students, I don't want to say many because there's not that many, but the ones typically that cause this issue are just ones that feel, like you said, a sense of entitlement where they expect that we're going to do everything for them. And that's actually part of our rules, right? If you think we're going to do it for you,
yeah, and I get it where they're coming from. They're anxious to get their first deal to move on. But we preach over and over. It is a process, and it does take time to master it, and that's why it's called remastery, because you want to master it. All right, and
education. I think I got it good.
Yeah, exactly. And then even with the events, I missed the events. I'm not lying, man. The events,
absolutely,
the retreat.
Absolutely.
So Marco put together. Actually, you got quite a few events. You got the annual retreat. We got Success Reflex. We got Gap Compression. We got Ninja Creative, and in that the atmosphere. Even though we do a great job on Zoom and we make it fun for everyone, but that personal. When everyone's all together, it's the
networking side of things, right?
It's pretty cool, but not even just the network, just having the people there, the students, seeing them and seeing how excited they are, and then they get pumped. Everyone's walking out pumped up, and we're gonna do this. And they bump heads and chests.
All right,
I don't know if they do that really, but
What was in your coffee?
Pump chest.
I honestly, of all the events, I really missed the annual retreat because it's pretty cool. You know, all the membership level students, whether you're in membership X, Y, Z, they're all there sharing their wins, learning from others' wins, and you know, a lot of times, even through Zoom, not everybody has their camera on or whatever, so it's nice to put a face on names. Or we sometimes share wins of some of the students, and you hear and there's some students that are really going hard at this, and they get multiple wins in succession, and it's cool. You know, you hear this name all the time, and then you get to meet them and pick their brain, like, what are they doing different than I am? How come I'm not moving that quickly? I know that's what I did when I was attending the retreats, and I think, Frank, you and I built a really strong bond as students at the time before we started working with Marco, based on these events and retreats.
Yeah, we did. Well, you were always there.
Yeah.
The social aspect is important. You learn from each other. You realize that what is someone else doing? What's the missing key? What's the missing that someone else is doing? Or what angle are they using? Or what's their language pattern? Or what's the one thing that they're doing differently than I am, since they're getting a result that's different than me, right? And I think there's a lesson there. In if you're not getting the results that you're looking for or that you expect, all results are a result of certain actions. So if you want an X result, if you want to be a millionaire, you have to act a certain way. If you want to have $100 million, it's not the same thing as a millionaire. They act differently at 1 million, 50 million, 100 million, 500 million, 1 billion. They're very specific patterns of behavior that go with those levels. And if you don't change your behavior pattern to mirror whatever results you're looking for, you're not going to get that. And it starts small, like first deal, right? We all want our first deal.
Yeah.
But sometimes our first deal won't necessarily be our best deal, right? It'll be just the deal that we hope we get, and then you want to refine it and get better.
Yeah.
And then you want to get a deal faster than the last time, and then you want more deals. You want a bigger deal, and then you learn from the you can either look at your mistakes as fuck ups, right? Oh, I screwed it up, or you can look at those as lessons that you can grow on, can be better the next time. Like with your hotel or with the mobile home parks or with anything else.
The first deal is maybe not always the best one, but it's, in my opinion, at least for me, was the most important one, because as much as you're gung-ho when you start a new process and coaching, it's a form of validation that everything works. For someone who at the end of the day, you have to have faith when you start something new, but faith is always validated with results, right? So to me, the first one was just, holy shit, this works a lot better than I thought it would, or a lot quicker than I thought. And it took me probably longer than most students to get my first deal. So
I don't know. How long did it take?
Oh
you?
no, that's right. Sorry, Frank. I forgot you were at my left.
I was 8 months in.
All right, I
Still
was the
scratching
second
my head.
Sorry. Yeah.
Then I went to Marco. I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah. I don't understand why I don't need to know where the sun's at.
Marco entered a room. There was a lot of plastic on the floor, and
Yes, there's
and
a lot of
Frank's
plastic
like, "What's
on the
going
floor."
on here?"
Why is this? Yeah, but actually, I get it. Your first deal, even your second deal, or third deal, you're just refining what you're looking for in the end. You're just like, if you don't like it, that's fine. You can always dump it. There's always an exit strategy, and still make money on it. But I think the lesson is, and yeah, we bought some shithole properties before the things, not shithole, but financially made sense or whatever. But it was
difficult to manage.
It was a challenge, but you know what? I wouldn't trade that, buddy. I would not trade that one bit, because it made me stronger, better, and more knowledgeable on what to look for and how to address it and how to turn that, shithole into an opportunity, or opportunity centers or whatever it is. So thankfully, because we bought it right, didn't lose any money.
Right.
So we made money even on the worst property.
But that's because of your attitude as well. Because I know folks. I'm not going to say the whole name, but I'm going to just say the capital.
Careful.
All right. There's a student called V that bought a series of properties, and actually, I think you were going to buy. They wanted to flip it to someone because they were having so many problems with it, and I don't want to say what the name is, But after conversating with this person, you were like, I don't want anything. Like, I'll give you half of what you paid for it, even though what they were selling it for made sense. Is this clicking now?
I'm trying to remember who it is.
Yes.
But maybe tell me off air.
No, don't say it.
But it was the last time they ever wanted to deal with a property because they were so bad. They were micromanaging the manager constantly. For example, if there was
I know. I know.
Hell, even I knew.
Okay. So even if there was something that needed to be fixed, this person would spend hours on the internet trying to save $3 on a component because saving money was more important to them than saving time. And they were micromanaging their manager so much that there's no manager anymore that even wanted the property. And they had such a bad taste in their mouth because of the attitude in which they put and once you own a property, just disclosure, all we can do is guide, right? If you buy a property and I have processes in place and someone decides not to follow my processes, obviously it's my fault for them not following my processes, right? It's always my fault. And that's the thing with an educator is you're going to have people that are going to always blame me for them not doing well. No matter how tight my processes are, no matter how many videos I have, no matter how many checklists, there's someone now whom I love very much, have more respect for than most. I love this guy, all right? And he's just an amazing human. But he can't get his shit straight with contracts. We were just having this conversation yesterday. Yeah. And he's making the same mistake over and over and over again. And we're going to keep helping him. But at the end of the day, if you're making the same damn mistakes and the same contracts constantly, and we keep telling you the same thing, and you keep getting into trouble, there's no amount of coaching or helping that's going to fix that until you fix yourself. It has to. So to bring this lesson back around, is that all three of us, we make a mistake, and we learn from that mistake so it never happens.
And we're accountable about it.
And we're supposed to learn the lesson for a reason. But many learn the lesson, but they don't fix it, and then they use that as an excuse as to why to never do that again. Right?
Argue that they didn't learn the lesson.
This is too hard for me. I can't do this anymore. This is not something that's going to work. Negative nanny all the way around, right? So, in having the lesson and realizing that this is what I need to learn, and then never, at least trying to never happen. It could happen again because you didn't learn the lesson necessarily perfectly the first time, but at least you're putting in the effort to never make it.
And that's the thing people have. Listen, the more excuses you have, the less likelihood you're going to be successful. And it's easy to point the finger to, yes, someone like an educator saying, well, it didn't work, Marco.
That's always my fault, right?
I blamed you a little bit in the first 8 months.
I'll take
but behavior can change.
No,
right?
but hold on a sec. No, I did
happened.
blame a little bit because I had a misunderstanding of it, but you're right. But then you course corrected, and that's it. And I don't think I made that mistake ever since.
We also deleted Excel from your
I
computer.
helped you course correct. All I can do is tell you what to do, but I can't do it for you.
No, of course. No,
Right.
and I don't want you to. I didn't
Yes.
want to, actually, when you approached me.
Yes. So all I can do is help. And if you don't course correct, if you can't fix that for yourself, you're never going to get better. But I told you what to do, and you did it. So you get the credit, not me. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but between all that, with the curriculum, with the events, with the education, the free and the not free and whatever, that's all there to help and guide the students or someone that wants to get involved in this. And if they follow it, and that's the thing, sometimes they're too lazy to go even to go to the resource, right? Yeah. And they go, I don't like that. They go and they're like, what do I do next? What do I do next? We have all this because we went through these scenarios. We have videos, we have supporting documentation, we have supporting worksheets and everything. So everything's there, but some people do get a little bit lazy, and it's easier to ask and to be pointed at as opposed to go find it yourself. But
Everyone wants to run before they learn how to walk.
Right. But at the end of the day, responsibility is on the person.
It always is.
Right.
You just got to figure it out.
Yep. So what's the underlying lesson here? There is, we've done a lot of talking. As a listener, I'm listening to all this. What do I leave with?
Well, again, we're just talking about how we've grown, or how have you grown, and that sincerely we're here to help people like you that want to get involved. And my life's been blessed by meeting Marco and Gabe, and I feel like I'm always growing with them. And when I talk to them, you learn something new every day, which is cool, because we have different perspective on different things. So ultimately, I guess the whole underlying lesson here is if you're going to get involved in something, or whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be real estate. Is if you have a sensei, if you have a coach, if you have someone that's been there and did it, and they're giving you the resources, don't be lazy. Get rid of the excuses, and don't cry for your failure for someone and point the finger at someone else.
But real estate is the driver for us, but we use everything, all these processes in a similar fashion in anything we approach in life, right? Other businesses, I mean, we're not one-trick ponies. We all do other things as well. And I think just working together, though, there is a point, and maybe this is a segue somewhere else, but it feels like, choosing the right people to work with is also crucial into the growing factor. So, we all started on our own to a certain extent where, we built our little real estate portfolio following processes, and then slowly as we wanted to get bigger and stronger, because obviously, there's a difference between buying a 5-unit or 6-unit and then, investing into buying a 50 or 100 unit in terms of capital requirements, in terms of the deal structures, in terms of the creativity behind the deal structure. So, having like-minded individuals that complement each other is a lot easier to work with other people than doing everything on your own. And there's only so much you can do by yourself. And, we keep saying how we leverage money and in terms of getting a property, but leveraging other humans with, when you have complementary factors could take you so far, and it'll save you even more time. And I think that's, where I feel like we work well together, and I think that, that the future's bright, and that's something that I wish on other people, but I don't know if we should teach them how to pick their partners, because if we base ourselves on people's marriages, picking a partner is not easy.
Is there an app on that?
Is there what? An app? You want to try
There's an
that?
app for that. I'm sure there's an app for that. I don't know if
you got to swipe left, right, up or down, or I don't know, but I think it's crucial to understand what you're looking for, and not just pick someone because they have the one thing that you're looking for in that moment for that deal, where you should be picking someone that's going to have the same objectives, ambitions, work ethic,
if you're
mindset.
Gonna pick someone, find out their why.
Yeah.
What drives them, and then depending on their answer.
I think we should have a podcast just on that's.
If their why is big, their motivation is going to be good, their focus is going to be good, and determination is going to be good.
Not just that.
People with some big whys that have some terrible work ethic that'll do anything to get to their why, including fuck you over. So
okay, we'll remove that.
Yeah.
No, but it's a good maybe teaser for the next one, because
I agree. It's just making the right decisions with partnerships that align with your values, really, right, and your direction, and pooling resources in some way, which is what we're doing. Making sure that we have the same mindset in some way. Always, we have a lot of fun together, which is also very important, right? It's not all business. We can hang out together for 4 days and, expect to do a podcast, and actually it doesn't happen for the 4th day because a whole bunch of shit happened in between. And, it's developing that strong bond in relationships, not only, from a resources perspective, a personality perspective, a drive perspective, a direction perspective, a aspiration perspective.
Trust.
We have a lot of the same, we're aligned in a lot of different ways, and I think that's important. And when one falls, the other one can pick up the other. It's very helpful.
It is.
And even when we struggle, we have a good time, and I think that to me is a huge plus. Like, that's where I know that I'm in the right place.
Well, no, 100%. We struggled a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We had a blast doing
it. Laughing. So
we have always the same solution. Let's go eat.
Let's grab a coffee. Let's go eat. Let's take a nap.
Or 3.
But I think that's the attitude you got to have, is just shake it off and just move on. It's like, when we got our shit together and the sun was behind us, we threw our hands up. Let's go eat. Let's go have a drink. Let's go. So it has been fun, gentlemen. Not only these last 3 days, but these last several.
Years, yeah.
It has been.
I think we're gonna be in for a wild ride for the last part of 2021 and 2022. I'm hoping that shit starts opening up and we can start doing these cool events. And we were supposed to be in Vegas. That was the other thing too. We were supposed to shoot this in Vegas 2 weeks ago. So
Instead, we're in beautiful, gorgeous Ottawa.
where
Ottawa.
Ottawa's Ottawa. I'll leave it at that. So
From a listener perspective, last words of wisdom.
you know what? Follow your passion, do what you love, and surround yourselves with like-minded people that you're gonna have fun with.
Gabe?
I agree, and understand that you are capable of doing anything that you want. You just have to take the next step and believe in yourself, and everything will work out. Just surround yourself with the right people, whether it's just the right partners, the right coaches, the right friends. And you can go back. There's a lot of podcasts where we've taught you how to do these things, but believe in yourself. It's you're an incredible human, and you're going to be able to succeed at anything that you want to do.
I agree with both of you very much, and know that the path that you think you're going to take is never the path that's actually going to happen. And be okay with being lost, and knowing that there's a few dead ends that you're going to hit, and have fun around what's happening. If you get frustrated, if you get stressed, which is not always easy to do, to just divorce yourself from what's happening and just look at the facts and be removed emotionally from the result, very difficult to do. Very easy to say.
Yes.
Very difficult to do. It's a struggle that all of us have. But the more divorced you are from the situation and more married you are to how can we fix it? How can we resolve it? What tools do we have? Like an escape room, really. That's what life is.
Yeah.
Right? And I actually went to an escape room not long ago, and it was the most frustrating experience ever. It's like, I give up. And actually, it by not giving up, we got out of the escape room. So, but I wanted to give up a few times. I'm like, this is too frustrating.
But you were other people, right?
But
And so together.
Yes.
And it was actually a really, really interesting, introspective experience on me. I learned a lot about myself after doing that. Also, we could have done a whole podcast on that.
Yeah. Well, it's important what you're saying, because it's not easy to especially if you're in a place where you've grown up in a negative environment, or you're just conditioned to think negatively. I know it's hard. I was at that extreme before having to move on and change myself, and it's not easy. So if anybody says it's easy, they're lying to you. It's hard, but not giving up will guarantee that you will eventually get to that mindset that you need to be able to move forward, and you'll see how magical that is. And I know it sounds simple, but it is a tough process, but you'll thank yourself when you get through it.
But even if you don't succeed, so what? Pick up yourself and that's it. Dust yourself off. It may take a few days, weeks, some may take months, but as long as
Well, you're always going to get setback. Like, success is never a straight line, right? It's going to be like, if you look at a drawing and you start doing, there's shambles everywhere. But that's the struggle, and the reason that's there is for you to. They're kind of like mini tests on the way of.
the drawing of success.
You've never seen it? I'll show you the drawing.
Yeah. Well, wait a second. You're saying you're not going to be successful, but in learning about yourself through the struggle, you've got to succeed.
Yeah.
So that you can take that knowledge and bring it. The success doesn't have to be the result. You might think that the success is the result that I'm going after, but it's the lesson in the failure, and I'm going to put failure in quotation marks. You were never supposed to get what you thought you were. You were supposed to learn the lesson that will actually get you to the next thing that's even better than what you thought it was.
And that lesson is necessary.
Because 100%, exactly what you just said. Because I envisioned when I left the government, I said, no, I want to own a few properties. Here's how many doors I want, and that's it. It was very linear. It was very straight.
Of course it was.
Yep.
I was in the doodle shit.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. But that's the journey. It's like, holy shit, we're in a fun
Agreed.
together. I'm an educator helping, coaching. I do got properties. I didn't think I was going to own a hotel either. Hotel, single family. Mobile home park? Never.
Hotel finish.
I didn't even know what a mobile home park even looked at. Never mind stepping on. But
Well, just how many times were you this close to closing on a property and then it all fell apart and you just had to start over? Like, just that.
Start over, but all the lessons you learned.
That's what I'm saying. And I was having this talk with a student who's, she's been having a hard time getting to the deal that she wants. And she finally got to a place where, she was there, contract is signed, due diligence is going through. And then there's a point where, like, you hit a wall where you don't have what you need in order to close. It's not the right deal, and it's frustrating. And as much as they thought they were divorced from the result and married to the process, they realized that there's always a little bit or a small part of you that's still married to the deal. But it was a lot easier this time than it was even in other times where she wasn't even at a contract and she was married to the deal. So there's progress there, and that's the lesson that she has to take. And she learned to do due diligence in the process, and it's amazing to see someone grow. But when yourself are going through it, it's going to feel like you're always going backwards, but you need to step a couple of steps backwards before you can move forward. It's just the way life in the universe works, and the faster you understand that, the faster you'll get to your objectives.
Life is an escape room.
It is.
Every struggle that you have, or you're never going to get out.
Very anecdotal today.
Very. Yeah. I'll have to edit a couple of things here because we rambled on different things, but who knows? Maybe you'll get the unedited version. But I think worth sticking out. So. And
stay tuned for the next, the next season, if we will. Yeah, we're gonna have you're gonna get to meet some people that are in our power team. We've talked about our power team in past podcasts, and you'll slowly start to meet some of them.
Some pretty incredible.
Yeah. They make us look a lot better than we are.
Wow.
We're leveraging their knowledge.
That's right.
Just regular people doing amazing things, just like you should be doing amazing things. And it's just a matter of the actions that you take today that will really change your tomorrow. So make that happen. Thanks so much for joining us today. And again, like it, love it, share it. And if you want to leave a comment to add to our existing comments, that would be phenomenal. We appreciate you doing that as well. And again, stay tuned, and appreciate Frank and Gabe here, my two compadres, brothers from another mother, making this journey absolutely phenomenal, and me learning a lot about myself during this, holding me accountable to the things that I need to do, and just making my life so much better. And I hope that all of you are able to find the right people to be around and selectively be around, so you can really make big changes in your life as a team, as opposed to all by yourself, because you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be a lone wolf. You can do things, amazing things, either by yourself or with the support of others, which is a lot more fun. Have a great day, and we look forward to you crushing it.
If you like this episode of Big Fat Real Estate Checks, then show some love by leaving a comment and a good rating. Also, as a thank you for tuning in today, we've got a special free gift. The journey to passive cash flow for a life starts by finding deals, and it's easier than you think. Simply go to getdealsbytuesday.com, enter your email address, and we'll send you a free quick start course called Deals by Tuesday. Even if it's 11 p.m. Monday night, this course will show you how to find discounted real estate deals by Tuesday. It's that fast and simple. Go to getdealsbytuesday.com and start your journey toward life-changing cash flow today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.